Wages are up because people have no choice, but they're not spending because they're scared they're about to lose their job. Meanwhile, the only thing getting cheaper is the gas you put in their tank. The Bank of Canada is stuck between fear and inflation. Welcome to Canada's stagflation economy. Inflation came in at 1.7% again this month. And I say again because last month, while being 1.9%, June was 1.7%, May was in and around the same range. And there's only one thing affecting the difference month to month, and that is gas prices. If we were to take out the price at the pumps and how much you were paying on gas, you would be seeing inflation, that headline number, at 2.5%. That means there's very little to give in the pocketbook of Canadians. Add into that groceries in the last 5 years have gone up 27% and wages have gone up 5%. So of course, at performance reviews, union contracts, everybody is asking for more because the average amount, it doesn't pay the bills anymore. So we are in an incredibly sticky spot. We have slow to no growth in the economy. We have slow to no growth in jobs. And yet inflation, core and trim, what the Bank of Canada looks at, are stuck permanently, it seems recently, in the 3% range. Now, I want to get into who's to blame for this, and I did this a few months ago, but I think it's a good thing to refresh memories. The mandate of the Bank of Canada is set by the federal government. The federal government has no say in how the Bank of Canada achieves that number. So the mandate is, and has been for decades, inflation at 2 to 5%. Now that is not headline inflation, that is core, trim, and median inflation. I have made the argument for years now that that mandate should be changed to an average of the G20 countries because the world has changed, the economy has changed, and yet we are sticking to the same number. Now, the Bank of Canada has their hands tied because the feds cannot tell them lower rates. But the Bank of Canada, if they were to lower rates today, housing is already one of the key drivers and has been one of the key drivers of inflation for the last 4 years. So they're worried that if they cut rates and drastically, they're going to fuel that and fuel inflation even higher. The other thing is that the federal government can control, which is hindering the Bank of Canada, and I have said this 3 months in a row now, is no budget. The Bank of Canada does not know if UBI is going to be rolled out. They do not know if austerity measures are going to be rolled out. No matter how they diverge in the House, they will affect inflation. Tariffs seem to not be having a great effect as of yet. But real job numbers, not the labor force survey. Bank of Canada doesn't get that until 2 months after it's happened. The Bank of Canada reacts months after the effects have been felt. So right now we are in a stagflation era. But that is not to say that that is what you are seeing in your pocketbook, in your lives, in your neighborhoods, in your communities. This is where we need a serious government. This is where we need the economist that people thought was going to be the savior of Canada to act. We needed that budget before they went on vacation in the House. We need that budget the second they sit. If they choose to do what Trudeau Liberals did and Freeland and wait until the very last day of the sitting of the fall session, that prolongs how long the Bank of Canada will take to make a major decision. This is not a failure on the Bank of Canada. This is a failure on the part of the federal government. And every month that you are paying more in groceries, I believe it's, let me check here, shelter is up 3%, groceries up 3% year over year. People can't afford that. People just cannot afford that. So, until Ottawa shows its hand on spending and or core inflation somehow manages to break, which, by the way, we get into counter tariff territory, inflation will go up, not down. So Canadians are stuck in this entire world, this ecosystem of stagflation, where your food is up, your housing costs are up, your insurance costs are up. You might save a little bit at the pump. That's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week. Next week, I will be back with the squeeze